Today I'll be sharing with you a mail call featuring 3 different packages that came in from various online orders. This includes a pseudo run I've been trying to complete, a back issue that I've sorely missed after I got rid of it, and some Spider-Man goodness. So let's get into it. What's up guys? Thanks for tuning in. My name is John and welcome to Old Stuff is Cool. The first mail call comes courtesy of Next Gen Collector. You'll find a link in the description below. I happened to see his post on Instagram with a few books he had on for sale. He was getting them ready for some sort of convention or event, and I noticed 3 books that would help complete the Amalgam Comics run, the series of one-shots that combine Marvel and DC heroes and villains. I only had 3 left, and he had all 3. So hit him up and was able to have him set them aside. And now they've arrived safely, and I can check that off my list. So to go through the books, we have The Magnetic Men featuring Magneto. And this is from, there were 2 runs of Amalgam books, and this was actually a kind of a follow-up or a secondary title for this mashup of The Magnetic Men. I think the combination is the Metal Men from DC and then Magneto and the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants mashed up together. The next book is Assassins. I think these 2 characters might have multiple characters mashed up. You can see there's Elektra and Ravager mashup, and I'm not even sure the secondary one. I have to read these still, so there might be a follow-up because these are some really fun one-shots. Anyway, the 3rd and final one-shot I needed was Lobo the Duck, and this one, as you can probably guess, it's a combination of Lobo and Howard the Duck. I think this is going to be just a fun, silly read. Just look at that crazy face. Look at that crazy face. And Hayden was kind enough to throw in a bonus comic. Always appreciated. This one is Justice League Infinity number 4. Not familiar with the series, but ooh la la, look at that spicy cover. I mean, it has me wondering, why is Wonder Woman locking lips with Darkseid? I don't know. So that'll be a fun little bonus read for me later. Moving on is a comic that I had gotten in my previous comic purge. I actually forgot I purged a bunch of 2099 books from Marvel. And on top of the 2099 books, I think there's just a lot of random 90s gimmick covers that I have a little bit of regret getting rid of, but a lot of them, the story inside or interior art weren't that interesting. It was purely a cover buy my teenage brain could not pass up. This one legitimately has a good story, but to be honest with you, I'm not sure why I got rid of this in the first place, and Spider-Man 2099 is now back in my personal collection. I mean, Miguel O'Hara, who is under the mask here, appeared in Across the Spider-Verse, and I love those, Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse. Can't wait for whenever the 3rd and final part finally comes out. He gained much prominence. The art is fantastic in here by Rick Leonardi. Spider-Man 2099 also probably has one of the best Spider Family costume designs. It's influenced by, I believe, if I remember correctly, Dios de los Muertos. There's some skull themes in there. The character himself is both, I believe, Irish and Hispanic. Finding issue number 1, the red foil cover in good condition, can be a little tricky too. It can kind of get damaged easily. This was a really clean copy, and for the price of what some people were charging for just the first issue, you gotta look for eBay lots, and a lot of times you can find your key issues kind of tucked away in a run of like issues 1 through 10, 11 through 20. And I think originally I only owned the first 3 or 4 issues of Spidey 2099. It's not a series that I stuck around for, but it is one I've been interested in going back and rereading. And now that I have issues 1 through 8, it might be something where this might go onto my list of runs to collect. I don't know. I do have a subscription to Marvel Unlimited to read digital comics. I think I'm gonna read, first I'm gonna read this stack of books, 1 through 8, and get a little more into the series and see if it's worth picking up, because different routes I can go, and this is probably a theme which I'll be revisiting in future videos, but I gotta choose, do I complete the run like my little collector nerdy heart wants to, Do I stick with the digital, which I have access to as long as I have a subscription? Or do I go for some sort of trade paperback omnibus route? Because I know that's certainly a thing too. And those, bottom line is, I'm so happy to have issue number 1 back in the collection. The other books actually are in great condition as well, so this will give me some fun reading to do. Now the third and final mail call I have has some key issues, which you guys might be interested in. This comes courtesy of Space Lounge Comics on Whatnot, and I've ordered from Space Lounge multiple times before. Always a very pleasant interaction. He actually was the very first Whatnot purchase I made. I've won multiple giveaways while just watching and not necessarily even purchasing anything on a particular show. In general, I think it offers really great prices and it's always getting some great books in. So first up, we have Amazing Spider-Man number 317. And this is something like I think it's the third or fourth appearance of Venom. I guess more of a minor key issue. The thing here is I made a short not too long ago where I picked up this another copy of issue 317, and it wound up having this really bad damage on the back cover, like this crease that goes right through it. And he happened to have this in what he listed and what I can see as like near mint condition. So this is an upgrade, and it's Todd McFarlane. I'm trying to complete a run of issues 300 to 400. I probably have less than 25% of that run left to complete. So each time I pick up a book to help complete that run, I'm getting closer and closer. So it's pretty exciting, but overall a great book. Happy to finally have an upgrade, and the journey continues. So next book up we have, it's also, actually these are all Spider-Man related, I should say. It's Amazing Spider-Man number 410. And you notice before I said issues 300 to 400, I have Spider-Man books beyond number 400, but I'm not trying for a complete run. And actually, when I first collected ASM, I bowed out probably just before or just at the start of the Clone Saga. But there are a few books in that just either have fantastic covers, like Spider Carnage here. Speaking of good Spider-Man costumes, the one that once Ben Reilly became the main Spider-Man and Peter Parker kind of bowed out, I thought that was a fantastic version of the costume. And there's small touches that make it stand out. I don't know if it'll ever overshadow the original, but as far as like top 5, it might make it in there. And now last but not least, we're going a little bit into the future, maybe the early 2000s, and this is Ultimate Spider-Man number 1, a series that brought me back. So funny enough, if I took a step away from comics at the Clone Saga time, also I was going and moving away for college, so collecting comics wasn't a high priority. Moved to a new city, had to focus on my studies, making new friends, etc. Ultimate Spider-Man though brought me back after a maybe a year or two break from it all. I read it digitally, and then I went back and bought some trade paperbacks, or rather the first trade paperback, and then got in on, I want to say like issue 9 or 10 of the original series. Now back then, because the book was so hot, it was such a great take. Brian Michael Bendis and Mark Bagley, such a great take on Spider-Man. These issues were quite expensive, and I didn't really want to spend, I think it was like $15 or $20 for some of them, and then much more for issue number 1. I just, read it digitally, okay with the trade, and moved on. But fast forward to 2024, and I had picked up a batch, issues 3 through 7, for like $2 each. And I got a decent deal on this one too, bundled with the other 2 books I showed you. And Space Lounge, on top of that, this is the first time I'm ever seeing this. It is a clear backing board. Oh look, and there's Jonathan Taylor Thomas too, with a ad for, it's a anti-drug PSA. I might have to repurpose this board for maybe a comic that has a full cover spread on the front and back cover, but that's kind of a cool little bonus. I was keeping my eye out for issue number 1 at a good price. I found it. I think I only have 2 of the books left in that first year of Ultimate Spider-Man to track down. So thank you, Space Lounge. So glad to have this classic cover. On top of all that, I don't think I'll ever own a copy of Amazing Spider-Man 1 or Amazing Fantasy 15, so I'll take what I can get. And in my own personal comic journey, and that's what a lot of my comic collecting is about, this holds a special place. So to have the actual, physical copy of this series, which I really love, that certainly feels good. So that does it for this mail call video. Guys, what were some of your favorites of my recent pickups? What are some of the runs that you're trying to complete? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. But thank you again for tuning in to today's video, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Take care. I need to fill in that kind of that very first arc of my run issues.
I found this on the web. First, that brought me back so funny enough. If I take a step away.
Personal assistant's going crazy.